Hello. I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes and see if anyone else is going to join. But I wanted to let you know I was here and welcome. Well, it doesn't look like anybody is joining yet. So if you guys would like to turn on your cameras so we can talk. This is a small group, so you guys will be able to ask a lot of questions and participate. I always encourage participation and conversation. So please feel free to ask any questions that you have as we go along, especially since we're a small group. Amber, could you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know about you and your company and why you are interested in joining us today?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I cannot see you though.
Oh, let me see if I can fix that. Did that help?
Nope.
Okay.
Trying to. Your name disappears, but then it's just a blank image. And Chantel, I see your that it doesn't work.
Mm, I can see the image and everything shows that it's supposed to be showing. Let me try logging off and logging back on and see if that helps.
Okay. Esperly, welcome. We are um trying to get everyone situated so that everyone's gonna introduce their business and talk about themselves. And so if you could turn on your camera so we can all see each other. There you are, Amber. You're working.
There we
Um,
go.
yeah, so go ahead and get us started.
So, my name's Amber, and my husband and I are working on opening up a tea house called Steep Upper Leaf.
Okay.
We the business was founded in June, and we've been working on doing retail, just kind of trying to get some numbers on the books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about this class because right now our best customer is my sister-in-law, and we have a TikTok. We've got the social media thing down, but we are lacking in so many other opportunities. And we've
Okay.
never had anybody outside of people we know buy from us, and we've been at this 8 months. So we got to do something different.
Yeah.
Um, To be entirely fair, I haven't really focused on marketing to retail because we don't want to do online retail.
Okay.
We want a brick and mortar. We're going to serve tea. We will sell some retail because it would be stupid not to, but
Okay.
our online sales will all but stop. We may have a few people out of state that currently buy from us we would continue to send to, but
Hmm.
we won't be marketing or advertising any online retail. So I've
Okay.
been hesitant to build that brand because I don't want to be known as a retailer to get the name out there. I want people to know us as a tea house. We were planning
Okay.
on opening in October, but I found out in the last couple of weeks that we need the 20% capital injection to get the loan, and we don't have that. So we're on hold. So
Okay.
now it's information gathering. I'm learning everything I can. My husband is COO, I'm CFO, so I've got HR, accounting, all of it is me. He's
Yeah.
my networker. I'm the socially awkward introvert. So he goes out and networks and finds me vendors, and then once we have them, they come to me, and I set
Yeah.
up their profiles and all that. So
Okay. Well,
that's
great.
us.
Great. Great to meet you. Chantel, do you want to go ahead and tell us about you or yourself and your business?
Yeah, I can do that. Um, my name is Chantel, and I own Royalicious LLC. It is a company that caters to women, their skincare, and I also make candles. And I've been trying to get it off the ground for probably about 2 years now, going on three, and just haven't got anywhere. I had social media, I had Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And I got frustrated one day and just deleted it all. And
Mm,
I don't have any social media presence at all right now. So
okay.
I'm on here trying to figure out basically a strategy of how to go forward.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Well, that sounds great. We will talk about strategy certainly today and about planning for marketing. Johnny, do you want to turn on your camera and go ahead and tell us who you are?
Hi, excuse me, because I'm working, but I am Johnny Renee. I do not have a business as of yet. I have an entrepreneurial mindset and I do plan on starting a business, but I'm really ahead of myself, just trying to get a feel for everything, see what all I will need to do, and get as much knowledge as possible before I get things going.
Perfect. Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Ashley, is that how you say
Hey,
your name?
my name is Esperly. I want to go in the e-commerce. I haven't picked the product yet. I
Okay.
am here to learn everything about marketing. I know that managing the social media is exhausting sometimes. It
Hmm.
seems like we are not going anywhere, and that's why I'm here.
Okay. Okay. And how about you, Susan? Maybe not Susan today. Susan, if you want to unmute yourself and turn on your camera, that would be great. So I was telling Amber and Chantel before you guys all joined that this is a laid back workshop. I encourage you to ask questions. Don't be afraid to unmute yourself and ask a question, especially with a small group. Obviously, if we were a bigger group, that would be a little bit different. But you guys are all here to learn about small business basics with marketing. So, although a couple of you touched on social media, there is another um, workshop that I also teach through Indiana Small Business Development Center that is specific to social media. But knowing about marketing and how to plan is one of the keys to social media. So this is basically step one. Then we talk more about specifics with social media. So make sure you jump in on that one. I know they have one once a month, and I honestly don't remember the sequence, but it's me again. So um, I am an entrepreneur. Love when Johnny mentioned the entrepreneurial mindset. Once you're an entrepreneur, it's kind of the bug, and it sticks with you. So I started in small business accidentally when I was 20, and had no idea what I was doing. Just knew what I was doing as far as the product, or the service exactly, but had no idea how to run a business. So I went to a women's business center. I am based in Ohio, just south of Columbus, and said, I need some help. And thankfully, they helped me. And then now for 4 years, I've been doing exactly what someone else did for me. But that was 25 years ago. So life has come full circle. So I am what's considered a small business consultant. And I work with partners like the Indiana Small Business Development Center, both with one-on-one consulting and as well as giving these workshops and these talks. So if any of you go back to the Small Business Development Center and ask for additional help with marketing, you may or may not see me again. But so if you do, that would be great. Please connect with me on social media. I give a lot of tips and information, not just about marketing, and it's very much from the ground level. I try not to get into the advanced level on social media, because I know there are so many business owners out there, or new business owners, that really need the basic information. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You're not going to find too much information about marketing and things on LinkedIn. You're just going to find information about me. And I've picked up my bubble for Zoom somehow. And then Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And you'll see meetings on there that I have with other business owners just like you guys, talking about their businesses. So it's all about businesses helping business, is my form of marketing. So marketing itself, marketing is the process of creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers and managing those customer relationships. So it's not just we're getting started so people understand we're there and we want sales. It's all the way through the entire customer relationship. And it's for the purpose of selling products or services. Objectives: a product. So e-commerce, as Burley mentioned, don't have a product yet. Just know this is what we want to do. So first of all, we need our product. What will we sell? Where will we sell it? Just like Amber said, don't want to do the retail much anymore. We are going to serve tea. You're deciding where your place is going to be. And then the price, that is what we will sell it for. And then promotion, how will we sell it? So promotion obviously ties into marketing, but in order to be able to start marketing, you have to answer the other 3 questions. This is called a marketing mix. So you kind of see where I've got those bubbles of product, price, promotion, place. So we got to have those 4. But the key to our success in marketing is being able to define what's in the center. So our target market. How many of you, I don't know what Zoom is doing, I'm sorry. I've never seen it do hearts before, but I must have looked like I was making a heart. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay, that's fun. So a target market is who we are trying to speak to in our marketing. And I say try because we think we might be speaking to our target market sometimes, but we might be speaking to a completely different market. That depends on our messaging as well as our placement for our marketing. So those of you that mentioned social media, there are certain platforms where your target market may be and others where they may not be. So it is important that you know exactly who your target market is, so you know who you're speaking to. If you do not have your target market defined, there are ways to do that, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go along. I work with a lot of businesses that will give me the answer of everybody is my potential customer. And that's not a good answer. Everybody is absolutely a potential customer, unless you have a very narrow niche. But in our marketing, we want to be very strategic with who it is that we're talking to. And that's all based on our business goals. So when we say who our target market is, it is, we know how old they are, we know their likes, their interests, where they shop, who they're friends with, where they're most likely to be living, even. Are they educated? You know, we get very serious down to target market. To understand how marketing works, you have to understand the sales funnel. Sometimes this is called the marketing funnel. You'll see this funnel with different words in here. So don't think that everything that you see is going to be exactly these 5 words. But I like this one because it is broken up into 5 instead of 4. So just looking at this funnel, you can tell that the majority of people that you're talking to are at the top of this funnel, right? That's where the biggest number of people are. And that's awareness. So when we're new to business and we're starting out, the majority of what we're trying to do is to make people aware that we exist and how to get to us. So I've never heard of any of your brands or your businesses before today, and you might not have ever heard of me either. And so I'm making you aware, you're making me aware. That's why we have those little chats at the beginning, right? So now we are into the funnel because we're aware of each other. Then we have consideration. These are a slight difference in our messaging to our potential clients because they're already aware of us now, but they're in this phase where they're thinking about us. They might be stalking us. They might be, you know, seeing repetitive things that we have out there, seeing our logo, maybe seeing us present, walking by our store potentially, just haven't decided to actually step inside or take that next step. So they're considering it and they're comparing different options. I feel like restaurants are probably the easiest way to use this as an example because we have so many options out there for restaurants. And when a new restaurant opens up, we're maybe not necessarily going to walk in the door on the first day. But once we hear more and more about it or see more and more about it, then we might consider going there. Conversion is when we actually make that first purchase. So think about kind of how you go on a purchasing journey, we'll call it, or how you choose who you're going to purchase products from. You are making a decision based on something very specific. I'm sorry, the sun is in a weird angle right now. And it looks like it's flashing even. Whew. So in the conversion phase, that means we're aware, we've considered it, we go straight to purchase. Now, we may do that on the very first time we've ever seen something. It's something so great we can't pass it up, right? It's that once in a lifetime sale. It's the marketing was so great it just pulled us in and we bought it. Or it was I'm so excited about the launch of something coming up that right there I'm converting and I've already made that decision. And then we get to loyalty. We're an existing customer. We've already bought something from someone and we go back and we continue to purchase and we've got a reason to do so. And every business has a different reason for people that are being loyal. Either we're offering, you know, this amazing service that they can't live without, that's amazing quality, the best tea around, you name it. Whatever it is, we've got our loyal customers. And then we've got our advocates. So these are people that are standing there going, and maybe Amber, this is all your family, and they're just not doing their job fully because they haven't brought anybody else in. But your advocates are standing there saying, this is the best thing ever. You have to come. Let me take you there. You know, these kinds of things. And they're pulling people in. And social media, those are people that are actually giving you a shout out. They're posting themselves with your product. They're wearing it. They're, you know, using it, whatever it may be. Or they're recommending you to all of their friends and family. So those are your ambassadors. And it takes a while to get to that whole advocate phase. But it is part of marketing. So it's not just about making the sale, right? It's about keeping them around and celebrating those who are then advocating for you and your business. So in the awareness goal, like if awareness is our goal with our marketing, we're looking at things that are specific to ad recall, right? How many times do you see Pepsi's logo or Coke's, you know, you talk about these big brands. They're not necessarily telling you, come here, buy here. They're not advertising a sale, right? It's more about the message that they're putting in there because they're capturing your attention and you're able to then recall the ad that is happening. I talk about the ad that is, it was crazy. My boyfriend and I were on a trip, and for some reason, the one like satellite TV station we got in the vehicle we were in the middle of nowhere, the advertisement on it the whole entire time was this cat food deliciously delectable thing. And you want to talk about ad recall, because we had no choice, but it always, every time I hear it now or see anything that's even has the word delectable in it, I know exactly what you know, is coming to mind. So I am very aware. I have never bought it though. And your brand lift. So opportunity to communicate to the broadest possible audience. Remember, top of that funnel. Everybody is a potential customer up there at that point. But your messaging at this stage includes a problem statement and your something that your audience can relate to. And I actually was listening to a podcast today where there was a social media marketer and he was talking about the best that his videos have done as far as converting to a sale. So we're not talking about the number of times that it was watched, the number of times people liked it, you know, that's not a sale. That sometimes can be an indication that you're going to get a sale, but it's not, it doesn't always mean you're going to get a sale. But his best performing reels for sales were where he talks about the symptom, not necessarily the problem. And that's the first time I've had somebody explain that, because we're usually talking about the problem. We're not talking about the frustration or the anguish or the, you know, all the different emotions that we may go through, which is the reason that we have the problem, you know, and then as a business, you are offering that solution. That's why we all get into business in the first place, is that we very distinctly are aware there is a problem. Somewhere there's either something missing in the marketplace that we are bringing to the market, something that isn't being done to the standards that we think it should be. So therefore we know we can do it better. We bring it to the market. Therefore we are solving a problem that exists within the marketplace. And that's what we're talking about, right? So regardless of what our business is, we have a problem, I have a solution. When I talk about what I was talking about on social media, we have small business owners everywhere. They just need basic information. They don't have time normally to sit there and find this information. But if they're scrolling through social media and you get one little tip that pops up and it's quick, or you get to sit there and listen to another business owner talk about their frustrations and you go, oh yeah, I'm not alone in this. There's somebody else out there like that. So that's the purpose behind your advertising, at least at this awareness goal. Definitely talking about the symptom problem. And people would then say, yeah, I have that problem, or I feel that way. Consideration goal, tell your audience more about the benefits that you offer. This is where you're starting to talk about not only the solution, but why you're amazing. Have any of you heard about a unique selling proposition? Is this a new term? I see you shaking your head no. Amber, no, yes. I can't
I
see
haven't
the
heard of it.
three of you. You haven't heard of it. So your unique selling proposition is an important part of your marketing plan. Chantel said yes. Great. The reason it's an important part of your marketing plan is, what do you do that is so unique that nobody else can say that they do it? So it's the way you deliver the product. It's the product itself. It's the service, right? So your unique selling proposition is a statement that you're making about who you are and what you do. And this becomes the central part of all of your messaging. Everybody gets a little cute with the tagline or things like that. That's not really what's going to sell in the end as your unique selling proposition. So it goes beyond, if you guys have heard of elevator speeches, it goes a step beyond that, and it gets to where it is very specific, and it speaks directly to your target market. So you're giving people that reason to choose you instead of your competitor, because most of us, we have a competitor of some form. So we've got to differentiate ourselves, right, from our competition. The target is very specific then at this point. Like I was saying, our unique selling proposition is speaking directly to that target market, that demographic that we've defined, their specific problem, so that people feel like when they read it, oh yeah, that's me, and I need this because of that. Conversion goal, conversions, purchases, leads. So conversions can look like a lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily mean they bought something. This all depends on your business type, your business model. So a lead can be considered to be a conversion. And I say that because when we get into website marketing or social media marketing, sometimes our only intent is to capture someone's email address. And then we take that off of whatever it is, and we are doing a different kind of marketing than potentially through email to get them to actually convert to purchasing at that point. But it was not our intent. In our initial marketing, our conversion would be considered that lead. Your potential customers are fully defined right now. We are not stepping out of the bounds. I say that, and you could get random people, right, where that aren't in your target market that completely convert. But when we are talking about conversion, we are talking to a very, very narrow group of people at this time. It makes it easy as possible for them to convert. So when I say our intent is to capture that email address, I don't have to do anything to make them find that way to grab a hold of it and enter it. Sorry, someone else coming in. And if it's click here, do this, buy now, those kinds of things, because we are not a patient society by any means, especially when we are making purchasing decisions. And if we have to go look for something, find it, uncover it, we are likely to move on, especially in the world of digital marketing. So most people with a website, they're there like 0.2 seconds or less. So if you don't have a wonderful, amazing header with your welcome, whatever that is, and a call to action right there, so some kind of button that's telling them what to do, they're probably going to leave your page before they've ever even started to scroll. That's just the typical data that you'll get back analytics. And it's frustrating because we sometimes put a lot of time and a lot of content, and most people aren't even looking at any of it. And then you want to remind them how easy it is to get started. That's that very direct call to action that I was talking about. And then you can give them a little nudge. So the little nudge is when you're throwing out that, but wait, there's more, or this is the reason that you really should do it right now for 2 days only, or whatever it means, without sounding like a cheesy used car salesman. That it's prompting them to do it with a more sense of urgency than it is, if they just want to hang around a little bit longer. Because if they're hanging around a little bit longer, they're still in consideration, right? We're not in conversion yet. So conversion, the whole point is to get them to click it right then and do it right now. Then we have loyalty, upselling, cross-selling. There are some companies that their whole entire goal is just to have people purchase one and done, and they're out. There are, most small businesses are not that way because customer acquisition is so difficult. We want to spend a lot of time keeping the people that have already converted happy. So in our marketing, whether that be social media marketing, email marketing, in store, whatever marketing we're doing, it is making sure that our loyal customers keep coming back time and time again. Because what's our goal? What's the last part of our funnel? Anybody want to answer? You've got it.
Advocacy.
Advocacy. Yes. And we can't have advocacy if we do not have loyalty, typically. So loyal customers keep coming back and back. This is why we bring new products. We do interesting sales or whatever that may be. We have new services. We keep developing new ways to keep people coming back and time and time again. And then getting to be an advocate. So they've gone all the way through the funnel successfully. They're happy with the outcome. They are spreading the word about their positive experiences, and happy customers attract more customers. One wonderful way to have advocates is to make sure that your Google business has a Google business profile. And the key is Google reviews. So that is the one thing that you have to have in order to get Google reviews. The profile is free. You don't have to pay for that. You just have to be a legitimate business. And then you have to ask people for those reviews. So the more 5-star reviews you have, the more likely you are to be present when someone's searching for whatever it is that your business does. Google likes to reward businesses that are active with their reviews. So the building blocks of marketing then. We talked about the funnel. Now what do we do with that? So this is a lot of things, but this is basically what the building blocks are. And it starts with creating that marketing plan that has clear goals and objectives. That's the key. Clear goals and objectives. What are we trying to achieve with our marketing? And we need to be specific. You can include also a business summary. So who are we? What do we do? Why do we do it? What are we selling it for? Those 4 product, price, promotion that we were talking about. And then a SWOT analysis. So if you don't know why you are unique, a SWOT analysis is a really good way to figure that out. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats? Identify your target audience. Who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? If you're new to business and you have no idea who your target audience is and you don't know how to figure that out, start with yourself. Who are you? What is your age range? Where do you shop? What do you like? And many times in small business, we've developed our business, like I said, because we've already identified ourselves. There's a problem that needs a solution, probably because we were frustrated or we needed that solution. So we came up with it. Therefore, we're probably our target audience. You might not be your target audience at all. So, if it's not you, then you would have to look at that a little bit deeper and to figure out who that is. Maybe it's a friend of yours. Maybe it's a family member that would fit that. They're called customer personas once you know what your target audience is. And so if you play with customer personas, you can give them a name and go that far so that it's something that you can remember. Oh, that's this particular persona. And then identifying your competitors. They're like, we all have competitors almost in almost every industry. So if we're a local business, our competitors are probably within the same town or potentially someone in a neighboring town, depending on how far those are away, especially for brick and mortar. But if we're e-commerce, there are so many competitors out there in e-commerce, but it also depends on the products that you're selling. So you really want to define who those competitors are. You want to know what their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. You want to know what their unique value, unique selling proposition is, and you want to know how they're marketing. So once you have picked who you think are 2, 3 of your competitors, go follow them on social media. Don't be afraid to do that. See what it is that they're saying to their customers and what's effective for them or not effective. It is not going to affect you. Actually, it might help you because if your target markets are the same, then whoever they're speaking to is the same market that you're speaking to. Therefore, if you're connected on social media, guess who gets to integrate with you and talk to you? So now you're in the same network. The identifying your marketing tools. Marketing tools can be different social media platforms. It can be a Google profile. It can be a website. It can be newspaper. It can be flyers. It can be, partnerships with other businesses. You name it. It's a tool is however it is that you have identified you're going to be delivering that message. And then identify your budget. Most of us, our budget's zero. We say, how can we do this for the cheapest possible way or no cost? That's why we go to social media. Thank goodness, for the most part, it's free, other than the fact that we have spent a ton of time trying to figure out how to do it or how to create our content. And therefore, it's not really free because our time is extremely valuable. But you will learn how to develop a budget over time just based on where you should or should not be allocating your money. And that is, am I speaking to my target market? Am I receiving a return on my investment from that marketing? And then our brand. Everything has to have a brand too. Sometimes your brand is you. The change in branding with social media is that although logos, our messaging, our words, the way that we speak are still important, a brand has now become people. And it's becoming more and more that your brand is you. And there, you probably have seen something about the faceless marketing, that, some people don't want to be on camera, right? And they want to be faceless, and that is possible. And it's actually kind of on the rise because there are so many people that don't want to do it. But in the end, it's not really about you being in front of the camera. It's about what you're saying, what you're doing, and whether or not people are learning or having a positive experience from what it is that you're putting on social media. So keep that in mind. Your brand could be you as well. And then our strategy. I talk a lot about strategy because everything that you do with marketing, based that we have limited time and limited money, is that you need to be strategic with what you're doing. If you're just throwing a bunch of stuff out there and you're doing it randomly, that's not going to be effective. That's certainly not strategic. And you can go as, top of the surface of saying everything that I'm going to put out there is just about awareness. And I'm going to post one time a week on one social media platform. It's a plan. It does have a strategy behind it. As long as you're talking to your target audience within it, you might get some of that awareness happening. And then implementing the plan. We build these great plans. I work with people every day. We talk one-on-one, multiple times, and we develop these plans, and they're awesome. And then I know what happens to them, just like business plans do for the most part. You spend all these times creating them, and then you don't even remember where it's saved or stashed or whatever it may be. And the only time that you bring it out and look at it is when somebody asks you for it, typically a bank. Most banks aren't going to ask for your marketing plan, but there is a process behind developing them, and they're always evolving as well. So it's just not a one and done type thing. Your business goals will change from year to year or quarter to quarter, whatever it may be, however often you're doing your goals. And therefore your marketing plan is being updated as well. And then you implement it. So realistic timeline. Esperly, I know you mentioned like social media is, it can be, right? Well, if we're jumping in and we say today we're going to do 4 different social media platforms, plus we're going to do our website, I still need my brand. I still need to finish out this marketing plan. Nothing's going to get implemented. But if we actually within our plan say, in this first month, we are going to get our Google profile completely updated, and we are going to be asking for 5 reviews from customers that we have started with, might be your friends and family, it doesn't matter. As long as they're giving you that 5-star review and saying great things about you, then you have achieved success then in that first month, if that was your goal and you've implemented. So then now month 2, we're going to start into one of the social media platforms, or maybe this is where we add our website, you know, if you don't have a website yet. So you definitely cannot jump into all of them all at once, or you will quit. You'll just say, nope, not going to do it, because you're not going to be successful at it, because it's just going to take all your time. So start small. Everybody starts somewhere. In fact, I literally just walked back in the door. My son had a convention today and there was a keynote speaker, and he went through his whole entire thing. And then at the very end of it, you know, in his self-promotion, he said, I haven't been on social media, but I am going to be now, and the only place you're going to find me is Instagram. That's it. So this is my name, and I'll share some inspirational stuff, you know. And this is someone that they paid a lot of money to come there, and he's like, nope, don't have time for it, not going to do it, but I am going to focus on just this one platform. So that was interesting to hear. And then monitoring and analyzing. So I mentioned that it wasn't necessarily about how many people watched our video and how many people liked it. It's how many people we received what we were searching for from it, right? So if we put a video or a post out there that our goal, our strategy behind it is to get likes, then yes, we're going to look at how many people liked it, because that was our goal behind it. Maybe our goal is to see how many people we can grow our following. So if we want more followers, then we're going to be looking at that metric and see if we were successful with it. And if we weren't, then we don't want to keep doing that same type of video, saying those same types of things, because it wasn't effective in the first place, right? So especially if you're paying someone, when you reach that point, to put out social media marketing or whatever it may be, and you're not receiving the metrics that you've outlined, then you're not receiving a return on any of your investment. And don't forget, your time is a big investment, huge, probably the biggest investment you'll make, because if you are doing these things, it is taking you away from doing something else, right? So we cannot underestimate how much our time is worth. And when it's decision time to say, should we be paying someone else to do this? And you look at it and you've been spending 30 hours a week trying to get your content created and built, and someone else is going to charge you way under really what your time times 30 hours would be. Just make sure you're paying attention to that, because we tend to forget that as small business owners. We're like, oh, I can do that for free. Well, we can't. None of us can. And then making adjustments. That's that part. We're always adjusting, little adjustments or big adjustments, depending on what our analytics are telling us in the end. Our marketing plan, just key components. Some of these are reiterating what I've already said, but begin with the end in mind. So these are our goals. These are our objectives. What are we trying to achieve? That everything backs back in from there. And then who are we? Do we have a brand? We have to have a brand. We have to have a message. We have to know who we are. If you don't know who you are so much right now, from a brand standpoint, start with something. Don't have that be the reason that you aren't putting yourself out there and doing your marketing. Even the biggest companies go through rebranding from time to time, and they'll update their logos and they'll update their information. So whatever you have today could be completely different in a year from now, depending on how your business grows and evolves. So I know a lot of people get very hung up in the weeds. You know, they're down in there with their website. In fact, my best friend just went through this. I just finished it for her this morning, because I said, you know what, you're worried too much about, you know, this font spacing on your logo. And she's going back to a graphic designer instead of actually connecting and making sales. I mean, it's what is more important right now for the business, for you to be doing. So, it is difficult when you're a perfectionist to look at your brand and say, okay, I want to have this perfect and this right before I can even start selling. And that's unfortunately, I would say stop that. And if it's good and your friends like it, then go. And set clear and smart goals. So I talked about those goals and objectives. SMART goals. Remember how I said with our implementation, we might be trying to get just 5 Google reviews in that first month. That's a SMART goal, right? We've got 1 month. I want 5. So therefore, it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's time bound. And it's a goal that I'll know whether or not I'm going to reach it. Who's my target audience? Who am I competing against? That's my competition. How am I unique or different? You've heard me talk about that before. What marketing tools do I need to best reach my target audience? That's when I started to talk about social media, different platforms. Where's my audience hanging out? What is my budget? If no money, what is my time? And then what's my strategy for reaching my audience? And then how am I going to measure my success? Did I do this for likes or did I do this for sales? Did I do this for followers? Did I do this just because I wanted to give information? Yes.
Yeah. What do you mean with the begin with the end in mind?
Yeah.
What is it about?
So when you begin with the end in mind, when you're setting up your marketing, that is what is the end result you're looking for? What is that outcome? So am I trying to get a sale? Then I'm going to back into my marketing to say, this is my goal. This is my intent with all of this. I want a sale. I don't want likes. I don't want followers. Maybe I want all of it, but it makes it more specific. Okay, so we're going to build a marketing plan together. And we're going to use my little fictitious company here, 100% made up. I have dogs though, so you know it is somewhat inspired by my little beasts. But so this is a example of a business overview. This is also a just a informational part about this business that we're going to build upon going forward. So Pampered Paws Bakery is a small local bakery. So I'm a brick and mortar specializing in artisanal pastries, treats, and snacks for loyal and spoiled four-legged dogs, four-legged family members. The bakery is not marketed itself previously and has relied on foot traffic for their location. Sadly, a large store is closed, right? So we've lost our foot traffic and our numbers are down significantly. So we've got a problem and all of a sudden we figure out, oh no, we have to do something about it. So what is a business summary at the very beginning? It's a summary. It says who I am, we're Pampered Paws, what do I sell, artisanal treats and things, and why am I awesome? Those are my strengths. So ChatGPT, how many of you have heard of ChatGPT? See a hand. How many of you use it every day? Maybe not every day, but close. Oh yeah, so we're there. If you guys get stuck or lost in figuring out how to write a business summary or what is a good business summary, ChatGPT can certainly help you. It also can make you sound like something that's not you and not authentic. So I caution just the copying and the pasting, but it is often a very good place to start. And you can ask ChatGPT questions instead of asking for, you know, things in return, such as create me this. You can say, what is a business summary, right? And it's going to give you an answer back. And then you can say things like, I want to create a business summary. I don't know where to get started. Can you ask me questions to help me create it? And guess what? It'll start asking you questions in order to do that. So it is helpful in guiding you through this entire process. So Pampered Paws Bakery, this is the business summary. that I came up with for this. So it's dedicated to providing high quality artisanal treats for pets. As a brick and mortar store, our goal is to establish a strong local presence and become the go-to destinations for pet owners seeking nutritious and indulgent options for their pets. It's kind of like a mission statement too, but it's more of a this is our business objective, business summary. So talking about goals and objectives. So here are 3 example goals and objectives for our business. Increase brand awareness and reach a wider local audience. Promote weekly specials and seasonal offerings, and increase foot traffic to a physical store. So those are goals and objectives, but what's wrong with these goals? They're not SMART goals, right? So I briefly mentioned SMART goals. Is everybody familiar with SMART goals? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. So, in remembering what those 3 the goals were that I just referenced, this is what they look like as SMART goals. So I want to increase brand awareness. Somebody wrote something in the chat. I'm sorry. Can't read the whole thing, but we'll get back to that.
It's just a tip for ChatGPT, so it can be addressed later.
Oh, okay. Sounds great. Increase brand awareness in the local community within 6 months. So I've got a time frame on it. I've said an increase. I haven't really said, if I want to take it another step further, I might say that's also going to be tied to the number of people who have grown on my social media account or something of that nature within 6 months. I've said I want to grow 100 followers, or that's increasing brand awareness if I'm growing followers at that point. Boosting foot traffic to the store by 25% in the next year. So I've got a time frame of a year. I've actually put a number on it that's very specific. I said 25%. And I want to boost my foot traffic. I still haven't said I want to sell anything at this point, but I wanted awareness. I want to boost the foot traffic, but I also want to grow my sales by 30% over the next 12 months. Okay, good goal. And I want to develop a loyal customer base with a repeat purchase rate of 50%. So every 1 in 2 customers that walk through the door is going to come back and buy something else. That's a pretty lofty goal, but it is possible because they have been established, right? They just are losing their initial foot traffic because of a large store moving out. So then we have to take these goals and we have to translate this to marketing in order to achieve these goals. So who is my target audience? Think strategically. Everyone may be your client, but you're marketing to everyone at the same time. Not sure where to start. Describe yourself, right? So with this business in particular, if I want to narrow down what my target market looks like, I'm saying they're pet owners, probably, particularly those who value high quality artisanal food products. So these are not people that are buying their dog food at Walmart or Costco, right? These are people that are going the next step to buy these very specialized products. They're local residents within a 5 to 10 mile radius of my store because I need them to come there. They can't live too far out of that. Probably they're going to go to a neighboring city. And the demographics most likely are age 25 to 55, middle to high income brackets, and they're likely to be active on social media. The likely to be active on social media doesn't necessarily specifically say what platform they would be active on, but we are taking into consideration that age group, 25 to 55, middle to high income, is probably an active social media user as well. And wherever this city is located. So in our competitive analysis and looking at our competition, we are looking for local competitors that offer pet treats. It doesn't necessarily have to be those high end, but if there's another bakery of treats, we certainly want to consider them as a competitor. But also the value, and I say value as in the low cost options, are still a competitor, but that's likely not our target market, right? We're saying our target market is going to take that extra step above there. So we're analyzing our competitors for their strengths and weaknesses, just like we are analyzing ours. And so, kind of in sales 101, when you're selling against your competition, you're not bashing your competition or talking negatively about your competition. You know your competition as well as you know yourself, and you are specifically selling your strengths against their weaknesses. So you may have strengths that are also their strengths. Well, we're probably not going to point those out as much, right? But if we know that we have a competitor that their bakery treats, they utilize some type of ingredient that could be, I don't know, I'm just making this up as I'm talking, cause allergic reactions or sensitivity or something, then I might talk about the high quality ingredients that I use and any data that I have to back it up about how it is even great for sensitive pets and things of that nature. So I've directly sold my strength against somebody else's weakness when I'm having that conversation. So that's why it's important to know who your competition is. And why. And if you're going against a lower cost option, it's probably an ingredient thing as well. Maybe as far as where they're made. Maybe you use local ingredients and the companies or your competition does not. So that's why I say stock them, know everything you can about them, because it's important. They're probably doing the same for you, trying to figure out everything that they know about you and selling against your weaknesses too. And so a competitor might have a wide range of products, but they lack a personalized customer service. So I'm saying in my dog bakery, I have exceptional customer service where, I'm actually helping you choose the right treat for your pet based on any allergies or things of that nature that your pet might have. And it's a tailored recommendation and engagement, right? As opposed to walking into a store and picking a box off the shelf. If that's who my competition is, I may not have another competitor that does anything like me. But there is definitely someone out there selling dog treats, is the point that I'm trying to make. And, Amber, you may not have another tea house or shop, but there's someone selling tea, that they're just not necessarily serving it. And, each business has that type of competitor as well. So my marketing tools, when I look at my target customer, plus things that I think I would be comfortable with using or my marketing company may be using, and in order to reach my goals and objectives, I think local search engine optimization and my Google My Business profile, so I mentioned that, are going to be key because I am a local company. I'm not a national or global company. So I want to be in my marketing and in my demographics. I want it narrowed down as I can get as specific as zip code. I can get as specific as, a township or a street, even depending on where I am and what it is that I'm doing. So I want to optimize any kind of searching potential to ensure that I have high visibility in local search results. So when I have my Google My Business, if I have a brick and mortar, I need my address on there for sure. That seems kind of like common sense, but sometimes it doesn't happen, because that address is going to be picked up by Google when people are even using Google Maps. I'm sure you've seen it. If you're using Google Maps and you hit the thing that says restaurants or gas stations or stores or whatever it may be, the way that people are finding those types of businesses through Google Maps is the fact that they have a Google business profile and it has an address in there. So therefore it's showing up. And it frustrates me when I'm in small towns. I like to shop local and I like to support local businesses. I don't want to go to chains when I'm in a different town, and I travel all the time. And I'm using Google Maps and I can't find this cute little diner that's right in front of me um, that I'm passing on the street, but I see all the other chain restaurants and things on there. And it's like, oh my gosh, if you just had your Google business listing on there and I look for a restaurant near me, I would have found this little diner, other than just potentially happening to be on the street right there where I am. Social media marketing platforms like Instagram and Facebook are ideal for showcasing your products and engaging with your community. And a community is not necessarily a local community; it's also a community in itself. So there's lots of Facebook groups and communities that have very specialized, specific interests. And being a part of those as a business owner, as well as having your own, is helpful in building your brand and your business. Flyer distribution, local ads, because of the type of business this is, and that I'm a brick and mortar and I'm looking for foot traffic, remember, as part of it, then I think that flyer distribution, even though I don't like paper, and local ads is actually going to be effective to reach my business goals. So distributing flyers to local vet clinics, for one. I go to where the pets are, and that's going to be at vet clinics, pet stores, different community boards, and even considering local newspapers or magazines for different ads. And then in-store events. So I think that one of my marketing strategies or my tools I'm going to use is hosting pet-friendly events and collaborating with local pet shelters for adoption days. Anything that I can do to have a special interest for anyone to come into the store. I might have taste testing days or different pet get-togethers or whatever it may be, in order to promote some kind of event. And my goal is to get foot traffic. Remember how I said I wanted to increase that number. So my marketing with that could be twofold, because I'm not only making people aware that I exist by advertising an event, but I'm also reaching that second goal of increasing the foot traffic. So when we get into campaigns and strategies, you notice that we've had to have all these other things defined and nailed down before we could ever form a campaign or a strategy. And so looking at these different things now that I've said, so who my target is, what my goals are, what tools I'm going to use, then these are 4 specific strategies or different campaigns that I'm going to develop in order to achieve everything that I said before. So a launch campaign, I'm kind of reinventing myself with a launch campaign, because my foot traffic, and I've never marketed myself before. So there's a lot of people that don't even know that I exist. And I'm calling it Treat Your Pet Day. So it's an event with free samples, discounts, and photo opportunities. Purely trying to make people, one, aware, second, bring them to my store so that they can learn more about me, and hit that consideration phase right there. And I'm doing it with freebies and giveaways, because a lot of people love that kind of stuff, right? And that might actually get people to show up. I apologize, my phone is ringing. And then a social media challenge. You probably have seen these. These can get tired and boring sometimes, but there also can be fun things, with special discounts or giveaways, or special codes, for free things or whatever, if you're e-commerce, where you're encouraging customers to post photos of their pets enjoying your treats with a branded hashtag. So you have a hashtag on there that's specific to you. Often that's your business name or a tagline name. So this one in particular, they might call it hashtag My Pampered Pets, so that it's kind of playing on the bakery as well as making it fun. And what am I doing, or what is my purpose behind doing a social media challenge where I'm asking current customers to post a photo of their pet enjoying my treats with a hashtag? What part of the funnel am I talking to right there?
Awareness?
So awareness, they're already there, right? So these are people that have purchased because they're enjoying those particular treats. So I'm probably talking to my loyal customers as well as absolutely talking to my advocates here. Because these are people that are saying, yep, love it. You know, they're not just going to post a picture with their pet and the hashtag, they're going to say something cool about it. They might even mention the treat by name. So they're helping promote my product for me. And that's some of the best marketing we could ever ask for. And that's just in a social media challenge. So I might be encouraging them. And by encouraging them, I might have some kind of competition that's tied to it, because we might need to give them that little nudge, right, to entice them to do it. And then a loyalty program. There's another one. Implement a loyalty card system. We have all seen this, right? Reward systems at places that we shop at or visit are off the hook, really. And I hate to say use this, but be creative in how you do it so that you're not just another rewards program or another store that's asking for someone's information for no apparent reason. So we want them to be loyal. We want it to be something they can achieve, because our end goal here is just to get them to keep coming back and keep buying more and celebrating them as a customer. And then partnerships. I want to collaborate with local pet influencers or vets for different co-promotions. So I had briefly mentioned one of my specialized treats is, you know, for sensitive allergen, you know, issues. Certainly I could approach many vets with that type of thing and hopefully ask them to recommend my product to certain pets, or give them a little sample, right, where they can give those to their pets that have specific dietary issues, and then get customers that way. Budget, I talked about that. We don't have a budget, most of us. We don't even know where we're going to start with that. So I talk about time versus money, right? And then look at it from a percentage standpoint. So we can't put a dollar on it yet, but we could put it as a percentage of our time or somebody else's time if we have someone on our team that's capable of doing this. So the social media ads, this is actually if I am paying for ads on something like Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok. And I'm saying that's going to be 35.7% of my monthly budget. In my local SEO services, 21.4% of my monthly budget or time. Flyer printing and distribution, this is going to be a much more minimal portion of 14.3. My event costs, I'm putting all of my eggs into that basket, right? 71.4% of my total event specific budget, assuming the launch event is a one-time expense. So my social media ad budget of 35.7 is probably going to be part to do with these events. So I'm going to be creating posts. I'm going to have ads about this upcoming event, talking directly about my target audience. My event cost itself might be the fact that, you know, I've got to have extra staff there. Maybe I'm, you know, all the free products and things that I'm giving away, there's a cost associated with that. And then partnership and influencer marketing. Remember how I said I might be giving freebies to the vets to pass out? There's a cost associated with that, right? So I'm saying 28.6 of that is going to go to that. So these are pretty specific percentages, just how that breaks down. Yours might be more like 10, 5, you know, 30 or so on. But it is good to kind of have that mix, because especially when you jump into marketing, you're going to spend so much time building content that you may just only be building content and not moving the needle anywhere else. And that might be your goal, and that might be the tool that you're working on at that time. And that's okay. Just know that you have allocated the time in which to do that, or the money. So how do we measure and track? So everything has analytics tied to it. when you have a Facebook business page, an Instagram business profile or creator profile, a TikTok business page, you will have analytics until, you know, you can't have analytics anymore on every single thing that you post. You'll know exactly how many people viewed it. You'll know how many people liked it. You'll know how many followers you got. You'll know any clicks that you received. So if you have some kind of button that you added to it, and these aren't just paid advertising or paid posts. This is also just your free posts. Same thing with Google Analytics. Google is going to analyze everything traffic wise that happens on Google that then goes to your website. When you've got your analytics attached to your website itself is probably going to have its own analytics. And then you can get into things called pixels that are also connected from Facebook into your website. There's so many different integrations happening in the background. And you're able to see where people are coming from, where they go, how long they spent in one place, what they did once they got there. So, you know, if they're clicking on that link where you're telling them to buy this product, and once they click and then they bounce off your website, you're going to know that. You're also going to know if they put something in their cart and didn't purchase it, or if ultimately they converted and completed that sale as well. So when I talk about analytics, it's kind of cool to see all that, especially when I was saying I want to increase foot traffic, but maybe my ad that I was putting out there for my event only got people to like the ad, but it didn't get them to do anything because maybe I forgot to say where it was and what time it was. I don't know. I'm just hopefully you didn't do that with an ad, but it is possible. So just look at your analytics and measure that. So now we have a plan. We've talked all the way through it. We have our tools, we have our strategies. This is the plan. Now, what do we do with it? How do we actually implement this and take it to the next step? So you have an implementation plan. It's on top of the plan. Most marketing plans won't have this. You can talk to ChatGPT even and say, I need an implementation plan. And as I mentioned earlier, that's what I was saying. 1 month breakdown, second month, 2 to 3 months, 4, 6. You could do it for an entire year to roll an entire marketing plan in. And so brand consistency. Choose your brand, know your brand, stick with it until you decide if you want to do a full rebranding. Don't do it in pieces and parts, because people are going to start remembering who you are if you're talking for the brand, or if you have another person that's talking for your brand, or you have a specific logo, you have colors that you're using, your tone and your messaging, the way that you speak is the same. Your delivery, don't be professional in one and casual in another, right? That's probably not your tone. Don't be fun and then be serious. You can do a mix of those, but you will have a brand voice in everything that you do and everything that you say. If your logo has colors, that's the reason I said you want to stick with those colors in pretty much all the marketing that you do, because those are your brand colors. And even though people may not be used to seeing your logo, you start to get used to seeing the same colors and the same creative look and feel in everything that you're doing. So that's how you're maintaining your consistency of your brand. And then review the plan over and over. If the plan is not working, we need to know when we are going to pivot and change it and update that. And our analytics and all of our tools that we talked about are the ones that are telling us when that needs to happen. Develop the tools if needed. So maybe we know nothing about these different platforms that we're going to utilize. We don't know how to be efficient when we do this. There are tools out there already, but maybe we need to create our own system that works for us in order to save our time and our effort and our money. And then you're creating materials that are consistent with your brand and strategy. I mentioned that. And then align your tools, your materials, and budget within your implementation. So we we can only do so many tools, we can only purchase so much materials, and we have our budget. And when we're implementing, we need to make sure that we're staying within that, just like our operating budget. We're not going to overspend intentionally, but we're not going to overspend over here because we said that we were going to spend this money over here, or we needed this much revenue, or whatever it may be. And then we're going to launch. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. And I am a big fan of just making something happen in the beginning. And that's why I was saying, is if it's as little as a Google business profile, that is digital marketing, and you are out there to where people can find you in your business, and you're able to still continue to refine and define who you are. And then measuring and analyzing, adjust and repeat. So what is a brand? Let's talk a little bit more about a brand. These are all logos, right? Many notable brands right here. So a brand is a product, service, or concept. Product, service, or concept, okay? So it's not necessarily just a logo. That is publicly distinguished from other products, services, or concepts so that it can be easily communicated and usually marketed. Branding is the process of creating and disseminating the brand name, its qualities, and its personalities. So this is another way of saying what I said a couple slides back, is that I have colors, I have a personality, I have a voice, I have a message, and I am staying consistent with this all the time instead of doing this. I've seen all too many businesses while we're trying to sort ourselves out, keep doing this. That's why I'm saying stick with something, even if it's not perfect, then modify and change, but do it all when you're making that modification and change. So that way the entire brand is maintaining its consistency. Common elements of your brand are your logo, your design elements, your voice and your vocabulary, your values, your mission, and your customers' perception of the company. We all too often are concerned with what we think of our company, what we think of our logo, what we think of our voice. Yes, we want to be authentic and we want it to be about us. But remember when I said, ask your friends. If your friends say your logo is great, we love it, then go with it. Even if you haven't 100% fallen in love with it yet, because it is our customers' perception of our brand and of us that is the most important, even if we're not 100% on board with it yet. Creating your brand elements. There are tools, many of them. Everybody using Canva? No. So yes. So Canva is the second most awesome free tool on the planet behind ChatGPT. Canva is where you can get all the inspiration in the world that you could ever ask for with creating a logo and a brand, as well as any social media content. You can even create a website on there, just by utilizing their templates and things that are available. I say free. It is free. If you want to utilize all the amazing options of everything that it does, there is a pro version. It costs $12.99 a month. It is still one of the cheapest tools, even on the pro version, that I have ever found out there for what you can get from it. It is phenomenal. I use it all the time, every single day. I have created websites in it. I've created flyers. I've created logos. You name it. I've done it. Almost all of it I've created from a template that I've modified that is already in there. I've just gone in, I've searched for exactly what I wanted or the type that I've wanted. I've found one that fits, and then I've modified it to my brand. So I have very specific logos in there, actually multiple company logos in there, depending on what it is I'm working on. So I have a brand package for every single different company that I am creating content for. These are mine myself. I don't do it for other people. Other than people I'm working with through Small Business Development Center. So I've got my logos, I've got my colors, I've got my fonts, I've got any specific pictures in there that I want to utilize. You probably saw my picture on the second slide. that's one of my brand photos that I utilize in my marketing. So that photo, you better believe, is in there as well as other logos. My son has his own company. He is just now 18. He started it when he was 14, but he's got logos in very specific colors and brand and font that I utilize with him. All of that can be housed in Canva, and you can choose any of those templates. And when you go to modify any colors, photos, whatever it may be, your brand will show up when you do it, and you can automatically pick your colors right off of there and change every single template to be your brand. So I do say the keys to success in Canva are ultimately, in the end, the pro version. You don't have to start there by any means. I used the free version for years before I actually even jumped up to the pro version. But the reason that I went to the pro version is I wanted some of the fun tools that you can only get for the pro version, but also you can connect your social media accounts to Canva and do scheduling out of Canva. So not only are you creating the visual content in Canva, you immediately can then schedule it to a number of your social media outlets and or channels, and you have to have the pro version in order to be able to do the scheduler. So this is where I'm talking about saving your time, is that you can create a bunch of content for weeks and then schedule it out and not have to think about your social media again, other than responding to comments or engaging with other people. You can do this as a time block. I'm going to do this Tuesday morning for 3 hours. That's the percentage that I'm going to give to this. And I'm going to take care of all my social media for the next week. And then I'm not going to have to be bogged down by the chaos that's there. And when you're implementing into an entire social media marketing plan, that's super helpful. Because at the same time, you're getting faster and more knowledgeable with everything that you're creating. But having that scheduler doing that for you is super cool. You can also have schedulers such as that's my question thing, but we'll get there in a minute. You can also use schedulers in Meta. So have you guys heard of Meta and what that is? Yes, no, maybe. So Meta is the business platform for Facebook and Instagram, and you can connect to it directly if you've got a business page for Facebook or a business profile on Instagram. And there is a scheduler there as well. So you can go in and plan out your content, create, schedule, and implement things directly from Meta. Walk away. I recently narrowed down a lot of the tools that I was using because it can get overwhelming. And I have switched to all of my Instagram and Facebook posts coming directly out of Meta. One, it's their tool. So therefore, they're probably going to be friendlier with who they show my content to if I'm using their own built-in tool. And I can do stories, reels, posts, whatever it may be, all from there, where when you start to get into different scheduling softwares or programs that are out there, or apps, they might be limited to the type that they can send out. So TikTok just recently stopped playing nice with some of the scheduling tools. So anytime the social media platforms do their upgrades, everybody else that was integrated with them kind of has to get on board with doing their upgrades as well. And so I think Buffer, I think it was Buffer was the tool that I was using. So Buffer is another free tool that's out there for scheduling. So if you're beyond just Facebook and Instagram or something different than those, you can utilize Meta's not going to work, right? So you can utilize either Canva or you can use Buffer. I don't think that Canva even does TikTok. If it does, I've never used it for that. So the issue is that the scheduling for TikTok was not coming through onto TikTok, or the views of the videos was 10, which tells me they were blocking it, either because of the platform it was coming from, or for some other reason. If you have less than 10 views on a TikTok video, like that's almost impossible to happen. That's how you know that it got blocked by something. I have like no followers on TikToks, and I still get like no less than 200 views on any video. So if I see one that's only got a few on it, I knew there was something wrong with it. So we are to the point where I have covered everything about marketing basics, and now you guys have the opportunity, so you haven't asked too many questions, to what specific you want to see or learn about marketing. We can talk about different tools that I've introduced, you know, something that you are frustrated with, hung up with, trying to get. This is the forum to do it. We have about a little over a half hour.
And we come back to the budget. It wasn't clear for me when we were talking about social media, flyers, and partnership. It's more than 100%. So it was, maybe I misunderstood something. Do you
Was
have
it more than 100%?
Yeah, it was like 35% for social media. Then for the event cost 71%, and then it kept
Right.
more than 100. So it was like maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, that was me plugging in the wrong numbers. It should add up to be 100. So I apologize for that. And you know how many times I've shown these slides and nobody else said that. So good for you for paying attention to that.
You're like 170. So like, okay.
Oh, we have a very high budget, maxed out. We are 170%. Yeah. So you know, as an example though, of those, probably one of those was not supposed to have the greater number in front of it. But so looking at it from a percentage standpoint, or say you have $1,000 that you want to put towards budgeting, and it's blocking out how much of that money is going to go to one place or the other. So I do, usually I talk about it in percentages, like I said, instead of an actual dollar figure, because if I were to ask the majority of you here today, probably even all of you, and said, how much money is in your advertising budget right now? You might all say, I don't know. I have no idea. So that's, you know, looking at it as a percentage is if you say, I have 1 hour a week that I am carving out to spend my time on marketing, then you break out that hour in percentages. And then you start to get really realistic about what it is you can take on and do in that 1 hour that's going to be effective with
I have
your
tried before, and it's so time consuming that I believe that in this opportunity, I want to have somebody else do it for me. I want to focus on something more important. Do you know like the rate per hour, hiring somebody else to do it? A company like a professional one?
No, I don't know. I've not priced it out, and you know, most people that I talk to in the small business world, you know, they're trying to do it on their own. Or they've reached the point like you are and said, okay, I know this is not where my time is best spent, from a business standpoint. And so, you know, there's resources out there. I would always ask first and foremost the Small Business Development Center, if they have anybody that they can recommend to help you with, and then you know, anybody local, and everything is going to have a different price on it, and it's all going to depend on what it is you're asking them to do also. So there's different values in it. I do caution, and I hate to have to say this, make sure that whomever you're going to work with in marketing or SEO or whatever it may be, that you have a recommendation from someone or a referral. There are so many small businesses out there that get taken hostage by their marketing companies or their SEO companies, because they tell them they have to have this very specific website or this very specific thing. And yes, there's a reason behind it, probably because they're setting it exactly for SEO, but then they're not real nice in giving it back to you. So if they've taken over your Google business profile, that's a bad thing. So I cannot preach enough. Always maintain ownership of your things as a business owner. Always make sure that you own your domain. You own the website. Someone else can help you manage it, but they don't own it. That obviously with Facebook, it's got to be tied to you personally, but if someone else is setting up your Instagram account or your TikTok account, then you may never get those back if you don't have ownership of it. And that goes beyond these items. We can talk about maintaining financials also. Like, you 100% have to own your books too. It's not just your marketing. So as an owner, don't relinquish ownership. You can delegate responsibility or hire other people to help you. I have talked to entirely too many people that have nightmare stories of what they've gone through. And so just have that referral, that recommendation. If you know somebody that's used them, then, obviously if they've had a bad situation, then they're going to tell you. They're probably going to
Thank you.
tell you bad more than good, right?
Thank you. I already sent you the invite for LinkedIn, and I'm following you in Instagram. So
Oh,
on
thank you.
Instagram. So
That is wonderful. I appreciate it. Yes. Yes. What else about marketing do we want to go into?
So I just want to say that I had no idea that you had to create a Google profile in order to actually be Google search. We haven't been able to figure it out for months because we have our website, we have a Google domain, we have Google Workspace. Like, I pay for all that, and my website is functional. It works, but we're not Googleable. You type in the name and it pulls up all of our social media. So I will definitely be working on that tonight, and I think that'll make a huge difference because we've had people that my husband works with try and Google our name and they can't find the
They
website.
can't find you. Yeah.
Our
So
website
I'm
is
gonna
our
throw
name because we have a
another,
domain.
I'm going to throw another piece in there that you probably, I'm sure, don't know about if you didn't know about the Google Business Profile. It's called Google Search Console. So you can Google Search Console, and you will enter your domain name into it, and it is called Google Indexing. You might have never heard the word indexing. So if you create a new website, you update a website, you publish a website, whatever it may be, Google doesn't know you're there. It isn't a you build it and they will come scenario. We all think that happens. It will eventually, but it could take a really long time before your friends would be able to type in things and find you. So to speed up the process, it's called indexing. And you go to Google Search Console. They have to verify that, one, you are a Gmail or Google. It sounds like you are if you've got Google Workspace. So you're going to log in with your Google or your Gmail login, and you have to put an identifying marker of some kind on your website. They're either going to be able to verify you immediately and say that you own it. So it's an ownership thing, right? Or they're going to ask you to put your Google Analytics on it or an HTML tag or something of that nature. Walks you through the process, tells you how to do it. So it's not terrible. But what you're doing is you are telling Google you exist. You're making them aware, right? Making them aware. And they do this thing that's called, they crawl the pages. So Google is very specific about its SEO and the things that it likes. So it wants to know if you have a meta description that conforms to Google. It wants to know if you have meta titles. So these are your page titles. Most website programs that you can utilize to build platforms kind of walk you into that, and you do it without even knowing that you're doing it. There's certain pieces and parts. But Google then is crawling these pages to make sure that you have all those things on there that it wants to be on there. And it will give you a report back or send you an email, and it will tell you if something has been indexed or not. So they won't typically index every page that you have right off the bat. If you get one, that's good. because that means you've got one that's going to be in Google search somewhere. You might be on the 50th page, but at least you are going to be in the Google world. And then it's those keywords and everything else that brings you higher up. But yeah, when you say had no idea. So the second key then is to have that Google My Profile, My Business Profile, because now you got two shots at Google actually finding you as a business. And if you have a Google Business Profile, it's going to show up on the right side in the Google search. You might have seen it before when you're searching for something else. You'll find an actual business right there that will have their hours, their name, their phone number, a website or whatever that they've had on there. And that's the profile. That's not even the website. So that's separate from that. So index away and have a profile.
Definitely gave me a lot to research there.
Yes. Anything to help, because it is frustrating when you have a website and you're like, my friends can't even find it. How in the world is anybody else going to find it?
I'm the person that bought a managerial accounting textbook at Goodwill today because I jump in both feet and I have to learn everything.
Yeah. Well, I have learned mostly self-taught everything that I've done. So that's the entrepreneurial way of going. I did end up going to college for accounting, just to get the classes on top of it. But I taught myself the majority of how to understand financial statements and reports and be able to make high-level business decisions based off of that. So, and how to build a website on Wix, and what in the world was Google indexing and Google Search Console. Yeah. My businesses all teach me too. You guys have things I don't know, and that's why I love the World Small Business, because we're all out there just trying to survive, trying to figure it out the fastest, cheapest way we can do it and just survive. What else? We can talk Canva, we can talk setting up social media, we can talk using ChatGPT. I'm here for you guys. Everybody's being so quiet.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. It means the world to us, well, at least for me. You are spending your time for us for free to help us with our business. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate it. I love what I do. I hope you can see that. Usually people do. But yeah, so don't be afraid to go back to the Small Business Development Center and ask for more help with any of this, with a website, with accounting, with building a business plan, creating a marketing plan. Indiana Small Business Development Center they've got great funding right now, and they're helping many businesses. I usually have, and not just me, there's a lot of people like me out there. But I usually have at least a couple businesses a day coming through from Indiana that need one of those very specific things. So I know that the help is there. You just have to ask for it. I have never finished one of my conversations with like this much time to spare, so I don't really know what to do with myself right now. Usually there's a lot more questions and interaction.
I think it just shows that you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
And with a small group, there's not as many people
That is
interrupting.
true. That is very true. Very, very true. Yeah. Do you want to see a conversation with ChatGPT on building a marketing plan? Yeah. Okay. I'm like, there's got to be something that you've not seen before.
I literally use ChatGPT for everything. My husband and I were driving to Vegas, and I said, "These are the dates I'm going. Here are the dates for this hotel. Plan my trip." And it gave
Yes.
me stopping points. It gave me things that I want to do, and I would say, "Okay, take this one out. Add something like an art museum," and it would
Yeah.
give me. It'd throw an art museum in that area on that day. Like you really, if you're not already using it, are underutilizing it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, AI is bad, but if you know, like, don't use it for like intellectual property. Don't pass something off as your own. But the amount of information and wording that you can get out of it. I've sent so many work emails with something ChatGPT typed up for me. And I'm like,
Yeah,
here's this mean thing I want to say. Make it sound professional and
make it
nice.
sound better. Yeah. Yeah, it is. You can cross that line of suddenly it's no longer you, right? It's a machine that's talking for you. And right now, I like to say that ChatGPT has not figured out my personality. Probably is a good thing, but also is a bad thing because sometimes I really just want it to create what I want it to create, and not have to think about it too much. But I can show you this one business in particular that
That's also why I put the little blurb in the chat. It basically just says to tell it you want to write something professional sounding, and it'll spit out this robotic, overly wordy, ridiculous thing. And then
yes,
you write the words a little more casual, and it
yes.
almost completely humanizes it because then it'll
Look,
take a lot more layman's terms. It still sounds super professional, but it doesn't sound like you're reaching into a thesaurus to find words you don't really know.
right, right, for sure. Um, Absolutely. So with ChatGPT, there is the 100% free version, which is ChatGPT 3.5, I think it is. So one word of caution with ChatGPT, the free version is it is a couple years back in the information. So when you mentioned, planning your trip, I actually had it plan a travel trip for me. I was trying to find a very specific location in Oregon, and I was driving there. And same kind of thing is that I knew it was going to take me a day of traveling to get there and a day of traveling back, but I had 4 days, so I wanted to do some fun things in the middle. Um, so, of course, with the information being outdated in some of it, there were things that it mentioned that weren't there or roads that were closed or whatever, so it is not necessarily going to be 100% foolproof, but man, to develop a route saying I'm starting here, ending here, coming back here and find things, it is super cool what it will do, so you don't have to think too hard about it.
You
um
also
and
have to be careful with math because I've caught mistakes when I ask it to calculate things. And if you
yes.
point it out, it'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Here is the real explanation." And I'm like, "But that's what I wanted in
Yeah.
the first place. I shouldn't have to check your math."
Right. And it's not always 100% correct on anything that it tells you even. It's still learning. It is a process. The one of the cool things though that I've used it for that I also teach in using Excel is creating formulas. So, anybody who's tried to use Excel on a level higher than they have any understanding for, knows that when you're trying to get a formula to do something, sometimes it can get really frustrating because you don't know how to do it. And ChatGPT can actually help you with that formula and get you through it. And if you give it enough information to say, column A is this and B is this, break it all down, it will give you the accurate formula, and suddenly you can do amazing things in Excel that you never dreamed that you could do.
You can
But I
try you can try Fontana. It's like Excel with artificial intelligence included. So you don't need the
Yeah.
tools. You have one and you have everything there.
Yeah, nice, nice. So the reason I was mentioning chat 3.5 is because I have chat 4. So I pay for the paid version because of how much I use it and what I ask for it to do. So with that, I have these different GPTs that I can utilize, and there are some that go into marketing and marketing strategizer. Even though I've used them, I've not found them to be super amazing compared to just Chat GPT itself, because they are all the same thing. But the learning, obviously, the AI is different in these, that it's coming in from a different place. So um let's start with your business, Esperly, because you don't have one yet. So you're still in the I'm dreaming, right? Or have a vision. So give me just a little bit of information about the type of company, um, and what you're planning to do with it. Because what we're gonna do at first is try to develop a little bit of a brand and then the framework of a marketing plan.
So myself, I was 260 pounds and I lost 100. I went through a certain processes to get it where I wanna be. So I
Okay.
wanna go into the wellness business, trying to help people to lose money and to lose weight. I don't know
Okay.
yet about what the specific product. But it's not, I don't wanna be offer something which is like if you use this, you're gonna look skinnier. You know, it has to be more than that. Like if you do this, then you're gonna lose weight on the long run, you know. So it's gonna be it's not just to look like, it's like you are working on it. But I'm not clear enough like what's it gonna be. I wanna have an e-commerce because I wanna be Amazon, but I have to run the software to get where I wanna be.
Okay. Okay. It's dedicated to improving, or I'll say wellness, their health through weight loss. This is asking a lot of questions. It might not be able to come up with any of this for us, but if you notice, I always like to start it out with what it is that I really want to achieve from it. And so I'm saying you are a marketing genius, right? I talk nice to chat. And you can say thank you and things like that. It's truly you having a conversation with, if you look at it from, it's a professional. So, I say you're working with a client that is a new business that's trying to find its brand and vision. The intent is to reach a target audience that is dedicated to wellness and improving their health through weight loss. This will be an e-commerce company. Create 5 options for a business name, potential unique value propositions in a crowded space, and a product that is lacking in the market. That's what I'm saying. We might not get what we want, but at least we're starting the conversation. So when I was talking about unique value propositions, obviously I haven't discussed who I am. I haven't discussed my personal journey like yours. What is important to me, what my values are. You can always integrate things like that when you're actually coming up with a business name, because these business names might be ridiculous. They might be something you like. I don't know. But coming into the unique value propositions, so it's just taking in the whole wellness thought right now and the weight loss thought I can see. But it might be on the path with one of these that defines you. So since this is your business right now, as we're talking, is one of these business name options and one of these unique value propositions something that you would say it's on the right track? Doesn't have to be perfect, right?
It is on the right track
Oh, great.
because I want one name. So yeah, and
Oh,
we
like
get
that,
it.
okay. Are any of those names 1 through 5 something you would say, I like that, but I want it to be a little different?
Maybe I don't know if I pronounce a Vitaline.
Vitaline,
Yeah, maybe.
okay. So I like Vitaline for a company name. And 1 through 5 on the unique value propositions. Any of those?
First one.
The first one. Here's product gaps in the marketplace. So it's saying my potential products that I'm selling could be a subscription wellness box, allergen-free weight loss supplements, wearable weight loss trackers, virtual wellness coach, or mindful eating app.
Do I have to choose one?
Yep, just choose one.
The third one. It has to be measurable. So they get excited they are losing weight. And so they
Number one.
the third one.
Okay.
Well, yes.
Okay, so I like the name, that value, first product. Now I'm asking to create a marketing plan, including a business summary, a mission, a vision, and 3 strategies to market my new business. So it came up with a business strategy. This is those words you were talking about, Amber. It's a burgeoning e-commerce company dedicated to revolutionizing the weight loss industry by combining cutting edge technology with holistic health principles. Our flagship product, a wearable weight loss tracker, epitomizes our commitment to integrated wellness into daily life. Vitaline caters to health conscious individuals seeking a mindful and scientific supported approach to weight loss. And then we have a mission statement to empower individuals to achieve their weight loss goals through innovative technology and holistic wellness practices, providing them with tools and support to lead healthier lives. And then our vision to become a leading force in the wellness industry, known for pioneering products that blend health, technology, sustainability. And then here's my strategies. And I'm saying, okay, content marketing, educational resources. So my objective is to establish Vitaline as a thoughtful leader in holistic health and technology-driven weight loss. Here are my tactics. I want a blog and video series. Wow, that's a lot right off the bat. Featuring tips on holistic health, collaborating with wellness experts, and developing downloadable resources like ebooks and guides. And then my second strategy would be to build an engaged community around the brand, creating a buzz. Here's different tactics for that. And then strategy 3, influencer partnerships and sponsorships, and it goes through that. And it's talking about, you know, this is creating this loyal base. And I will say, this is great, but this company is brand new and has a limited budget. they are also new to marketing. How do you recommend they implement this marketing plan in order not to get overwhelmed and achieve marketing success? It can be challenging but manageable. That's your cheerleader right there. You can do it. The key is to prioritize efforts, start small. These are all things I said, right? One, establish the foundation, set the clear goals in the budget, build a simple, effective website, create essential content, use free social media. Then phase two, leverage your content, start small with paid advertising, initiate marketing, expand, optimize, consider influencer. So this is saying you're building upon it. And then I want to say, what would this look like broken down by months to integrate first the website, a Google profile, Facebook, and Instagram. I don't have a lot of time to create content. So, what is a realistic content schedule after I have created the tools themselves? This might bounce around because I didn't get a very specific there. It might just regurgitate what I said. It's kind of giving me a schedule to follow then. Something that I can potentially put on my calendar and follow. Yeah. So website first, then Google profile, social media profiles, and then regular content week one. So then there's a realistic content schedule. So if anything, it will help you create a guide on how to manage your time and yourself when you don't even know what you're doing in the first place, right? If you're new to marketing. And so that's sometimes the struggle. Well, is the struggle as small business owners, is knowing how to allocate our time and really all the competing priorities, right? Because everything needs done all at once, and really being able to kind of stick to a plan is one of the hardest things to do, especially when, it seems like the world blows up in our face every 5 seconds. So that's one of the cool things about ChatGPT, is just that, it can help you create those outlines, and it can help create you, kind of that schedule, especially from a content scheduling standpoint. I know a lot of people that use it for that and help them create captions for social media. Now, they may not have anything to do with your personality though, and they may not speak to you. I had one client in particular that she started using it because she's like, I just don't know the types of things to post outside of, this is a new product we have. That's all she was doing, was just posting, this is a new product we have. And so she started using ChatGPT, and she was making posts, and immediately her customers knew it. And she has a very big following. She has a group on Facebook that has over 2,000 people that tune into live shows that she does every single week. And when she had a different brand voice, a different tone, they were like, this doesn't sound like you. Did you hire someone else to do this? So there's that cautious thing of make sure it's you and make sure it sounds like you. So we just managed to use up all our time just by talking to ChatGPT like that. So hopefully that part was helpful, as well as everything that goes into a marketing plan. This ChatGPT made it very oversimplified. Obviously I didn't get as serious as setting up content specifically for awareness. I didn't even say who my target audience is yet, right? It skipped past all that because I didn't ask it to do that. It only gave me those very specific things, but at least from starting a business, it's like, okay, this is something I can work with and refine now.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Good luck
Bye.
with your businesses. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.